AITA for going behind my wife's back and telling her pregnant sister she's being cheated on? Update. It's been a few days since I told my wife's sister, SIL, that her husband has been cheating on her, and things have gotten complicated. Before I get into the latest, let me clarify something for all the people making assumptions. No, I am not in love with my sister-in-law. I don't have any inappropriate feelings for her, nor do I have any ulterior motives. I care about her because she's family, and she's about to bring a child into the world. To me, that's reason enough to be concerned. After I told my SIL about her husband's infidelity, my wife was furious. I finally confronted her and asked her why she was so upset that I had shared the truth with her sister. I reminded her that, despite their differences, they're still family. I couldn't understand why she wouldn't want to protect her sister from being deceived. She told me that it wasn't our place to interfere and that I had ruined their marriage because of my stupidity. She went on to explain that her sister is pregnant and that the child needs his father, implying that I had taken that stability away from them. I was honestly stunned to hear her justify keeping this from her sister just to maintain a facade of a happy family. At that point, I asked her a question I hadn't thought I'd ever have to ask: if I were to cheat on you, would you forgive me? She said yes. I was in shock. I asked her a follow-up question to see if I understood her correctly: if you ever cheated on me, would you hide it from me? Again, she said yes. Hearing her say those things was a punch in the gut. I couldn't believe she'd be okay with cheating or hiding something like that, even from me. She seemed genuinely confident in her stance, too. She explained her reasoning by saying that, just because you had sex with someone else doesn't mean everyone has to suffer and break the family. In her mind, loyalty wasn't about physical fidelity but about keeping the family intact, even if it meant living a lie. I didn't have words. Her perspective on trust, marriage, and loyalty was miles away from what I thought we had agreed on when we got married. It was like I was seeing a side of her I'd never known before. I then told my wife that I'd also sent my SIL some money to help her out in case she wanted to get away or needed financial support. That's when my wife's anger really boiled over. She started yelling, saying I shouldn't have helped her sister at all, especially given the fact that she doesn't like her. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Her sister was pregnant and going through a major betrayal, and all my wife could focus on was her own grudge. To me, that was unbelievably cold. When I told her that maybe we should consider divorce if we had such vastly different values, she exploded. She packed her bags and told me fine and stormed out of the house. I tried to stop her. I tried to explain that I had acted out of a sense of what I felt was right and that I still loved her. She dismissed me, saying I should have just kept quiet and let her sister's life play out. I asked her what would have been the right time to tell her sister, after she gave birth? When the truth would only add to her stress during a vulnerable time? Or even years down the line, when it would hurt even more? My wife insisted that it wasn't our place to intervene, no matter what. I tried to get through to her, but she just walked out without a backward glance, leaving me alone with nothing but questions. After she left, I tried to contact her friends and family. I wanted to know where she was, if she was safe, and if she would consider talking things over with me. Instead, they started grilling me, saying that as her husband, I should know where she is, and that it was my responsibility to take care of her. I even went to my brother-in-law's place to see if maybe she was there, but there was no sign of her car or belongings. I couldn't believe I was the one being blamed just for revealing the truth to someone who deserved to know it. I felt like I had acted out of integrity and compassion, yet everyone seemed to think I'd crossed some invisible line. Frustrated and with nowhere else to turn, I decided to call my SIL again. I told her she could stay at my place if she needed somewhere safe to rest. I explained that my wife had left and that I'd be heading to my parents' place to give her space. I told my SIL she was welcome to stay at our house so she wouldn't have to waste money on temporary housing. My SIL seemed genuinely touched by the offer. She called her parents to check in, but when she called me back, she said they had no idea where my wife was either. Her parents seemed equally clueless about where she might have gone and even a bit annoyed that I hadn't kept tabs on her. I reminded them that I'd been doing my best to keep the family informed, but they just deflected, telling me that as her husband, I should know where she is. It felt like I was being unfairly blamed for her sudden disappearance, despite my honest attempts to resolve everything and keep everyone in the loop. In the end, my SIL accepted my offer to stay at our place. I packed my own things and headed to my parents' house, hoping a bit of distance might clear my mind. I wish I could say that being at my parents' place brought me some clarity, but it didn't. If anything, it's only made me question things more. My wife's reaction has been eating at me. I keep replaying her words in my head, how she said she'd forgive me if I cheated, how she'd be willing to hide it if she cheated on me. She even called my actions stupid and selfish, suggesting that the stability of her sister's marriage mattered more than the truth or any sense of personal betrayal. It's as if she believes that loyalty means keeping up appearances, no matter what's happening beneath the surface. The fact that she left without even trying to talk things through or understand my perspective makes it hard to trust her. Her anger seemed disproportionate to the situation, as though there was something else going on that she wasn't sharing. Did she care so little about honesty? And did her anger mean she truly doesn't care about her own sister's well-being? At this point, I'm genuinely questioning whether there's a future for us. If my wife values loyalty in such a way that she'd prioritize keeping the family together over truth and fidelity, I'm not sure I can align with her views on marriage anymore. The whole experience has made me wonder whether I ever really knew her values at all. I hate to admit it, but a part of me feels betrayed by her reaction as much as she claims I've betrayed her. I don't know where she is, and I can't shake the worry that maybe there's something deeper at play here. My wife's sudden departure and her defensive stance on infidelity have made me wonder if there's something she's hiding from me, something she's either done or plans to do. As for my SIL, she's staying at my place now, and I've told her to take whatever time she needs to get back on her feet. I don't regret telling her the truth, but I do regret that it's come to this point. I tried to protect her from suffering, but it seems I've only managed to fracture my own marriage in the process. I've spoken to my own family about everything that's happened, and they've been supportive, encouraging me to take things one day at a time. I can't lie, I feel let down by my wife's actions. The person I married, the one I thought I knew, seems to have vanished the moment I acted on principles she doesn't share. I wanted to do the right thing, but now, standing on the other side of this decision, I'm left wondering whether standing up for honesty was worth the cost. I'm giving my wife space, and I'll wait to see if she's willing to talk things over, but right now, my trust in her has been deeply shaken. For now, my focus is on helping my SIL navigate the mess she's in, because at least one good thing can come out of this, making sure she doesn't go through this alone. But as for my wife and me, I honestly don't know if there's a way back from this.